This is a 1/16 of an ounce jig, and I'm going to put this little Kitech 3-inch swim bait on it. These are the Kitech Easy Shiner 3-inch swim baits. I pay $5 for a packet of 10, and they are absolutely amazingly effective. There's a tendency for that guy to come off the hook, and the fish are very hard on it. They do a lot of damage. So in order to get it to stay on better, I learned this from Richard. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not my idea. Richard Jean taught me to put this dental floss on there and to secure it with super glue. You can do it any way you like. It's really not important. You're going to put glue and it's going to hold it there for a long time. So my third time around it. Now I'm going to use a whip knot to get her on there good. It's a whip knot. Cut that guy off of there and get some glue on there. I put this newspaper here to protect my dinner tray. My little dinner table I use to eat fish tacos while I'm watching cartoons. Cheap super glue. This dries very quickly. When you put this bait on, he swims like that, and you want the jig to be like this, so that as you're pulling it along, the hook is on the top of the fish, swimming fish. You want to make sure you put it in such a way that there's a big gap at the opening of the hook, and that is near perfection. You see there's a nice big gap there between the bait and the tip of the hook. And we're going to catch our fish every time. Once I have it fitted on there, I pull it back, put some glue, fresh glue, because that other glue is dry. Dries real quick, and I'm going to slide it right on there. And there's a little bit of glue, extra glue, right where the plastic meets the jig head, and that really gets it to take hold. I'm going to catch a bunch of fish. This lure is going to last me much longer because I took a little time to do this extra work. Again, these are 1/16 of an ounce. I'm going to do the rest of these now. Got to be ready for this fishing trip. These weights are 1/8 of an ounce. But I'm going to cut this off right here. They'll weigh a little bit less. This is before, and this is after I cut off that extra lead. I use these heavy pliers. This is only intended to keep the bait on the hook. You can see it's got a little hook right there. But I'm going to do that using floss and super glue. I modified 3 of these hooks. They're the heavier ones, 1/8, less what I removed, and I'm using them on the 4-inch Kitech swim bait, the Easy Shiner. So now I have these, and I have these, and they're essentially the same bait, but they kill fish. And this is the really big one. I don't even know what that is. It's the Hazedong Shad 4.2-inch green pumpkin shad swim bait from Mega Bass. $5 for 5 of them, I think. It's a really pretty bait. Again, this is a very modified hook. And by that I mean I have it wrapped, glued, and I cut the weight down a little bit using my pliers. The lighter weight helps me to fish with a little more finesse. Finesse fishing is a thing. This was a 1/4 ounce weight. I modified it. I'm going to do the same to this one. I'm going to remove all of that, and I'm going to remove some of this. I'm going to put it on this Wacky Worm store. Wacky Worm Incorporated. This is a 5-inch swim bait. It's called a Swimmin' Minnow Sun Perch. This is going to weigh enough, as will this. These two will weigh enough that I can probably cast them with my bait casting reel. So these are the jigs that I made with a 1/16 ounce weight. Wrapped the shaft with dental floss and glue, and then glued it additionally to the bait. These are 3-inch easy shiners from Kitech, and they're threadfin shad. These are 1/8 ounce baits, also easy shiners. These are the 4-inch, and these are called Tennessee shad. This is a 1/8 ounce jig that I modified a little bit so that it's a little bit more of a finesse lure. I took all the lead off of the shaft, wrapped it again with dental floss, super glued it, then super glued it to this bait. This is the Mega Bass Hazadong shad. It's a green pumpkin shad, 4.2 inches. And finally, this is the Swimmin' Minnow Sun Perch from Wacky Worm. This is a full 5-inch bait. I cut the nose off so the weight would sit on there prettier. Modified the weight, it doesn't weigh as much. Removed the weight off the lead off of the shaft, wrapped it, glued it, and then glued that to this. So there they are, lined up for comparison. I'm also going to probably end up using some plugs, some Rapalas, and I'll probably also be using some Wacky Worms. So I remove the spine very carefully. I'm actually going to cook that, pick the meat off, and eat that myself. I won't ask anyone else to do that. These are the ribs and the tail and the dorsal fin. Those all come off in this process of deboning a trout. I cut the head off, which I don't like to do, but I did. And you're left with this beautiful piece of fish. It can be stuffed, it can be blackened, it can be cooked any way you like. Point being, I took off the spine, the dorsal fin, the ribs, and then I very carefully went through the whole thing looking for any sign of a bone. I removed all the pin bones. They run right in here, and you can see where I got in there and removed them. And I couldn't find one now if I tried. That is ready to go. Brine and butter, Old Bay, garlic and parsley, some dash, salt. We're using the extra virgin olive oil. This is going to be really good. Yep, no about a doubt it. This trout. Oh my. That is so good. Broccoli, stuffing, and blackened trout.